Hi, my name is Max. I'm 22 years old. I'm from the United States, specifically from New York. I've been living in France now for about 5 months, and I've been at Alliance for just as long. I took French classes in middle school and high school, but I never really had enough time to be able to express myself in the language. And 2 years ago, when I studied abroad in France and lived in Paris for a few months, I had this frustration where I could speak just enough French to get myself into complicated conversations, and then I couldn't, speak my way through them. Once I decided that I wanted to live here, my first mission was to really try to do as much as I could to master the language so I could live here comfortably. I looked at several language schools in Bordeaux, and I really liked the format of the intensive training in the mornings at Alliance, where I can study for a good 4 hours and still have the rest of my day free just to live. And I also liked the idea that if I wanted, I could add conversation practice or extra courses in the afternoon. And I also liked the idea of being in an international community in Bordeaux, where I could really feel like I had my place. It's helped me tremendously to be here, really. And it's one of the first routines that I started coming to Alliance since I moved. I've been able to really see my progress. I've had some incredible professors, and I appreciate that we get to take the time every day to really put ourselves into speaking the language. Something that I've liked the most is the way that we'll approach the same topic through an oral exercise, a grammar exercise, some vocabulary, things like that, to really get it from all angles. I think that's what's helped me actually apply the French that I'm learning to my speech after I leave Alliance, and not just to write it down and then forget it. I started in B1 point something. I moved around a bit at first, and it's been 5 months, and I'm now in the C1 class, and it's been so satisfying to see my progress. Outside of Alliance, I can absolutely tell that I can express my personality way more in French. I'm funnier. I feel like a lot closer to my identity that I left all the way in the US. One other thing about progress is that, for example, the professor that I had this month, he was also one of the first professors that I had. And to be able to walk into the classroom 3 months later, I would say, and to be actually way more conversational, and to know that he could see my progress as well as me, that's something that's been really gratifying. My favorite activity in class is always when we get to talk. The production orale, every time when we get to debate or tell our own opinions on the subjects we're learning about, I feel like that's what engages me the most. And I've had some wonderful professors that will let me say my piece, take some notes, and then give me corrections afterwards, which is, I think, for me, the most helpful way to fix my mistakes while also being able to express myself fully first. So yes, anytime I get to give my opinion in class, it makes me feel like I'm doing something important, like talking about things that are important to me. As much as I know that I need the grammar and the vocab, I love it when we can apply what we're learning to actual real-life situations. I really liked the day where we celebrated the Galette de Roi. It was one of my first times that I got to meet students from the other levels and speak with them. And it's also a part of French culture that I really didn't know that much about. And I liked that we integrated the celebration into our actual classes. We did research. My class did a presentation and a little newsletter on the little celebration that we had. And then also we got to enjoy French culture and actually eat good food and enjoy, yeah. I mean, the honest answer is that my girlfriend lives in Bordeaux and is completing her licence here. But more generally for France, I mean, I graduated from university in the US in June, and I felt like I had this rare opportunity of freedom in my life where I'm kind of tied to nowhere. And I wanted to take a big adventure. I already spoke some French, but like not enough. And Bordeaux is, for me, a perfect size city. And it's very cosmopolitan. There's lots of art, lots of culture, but it's not as bustling as Paris. And the more I live here, the more it becomes my favorite city in France. The first time I came to Bordeaux, I was living much more as a tourist. I went to a bunch of museums. I don't think I really got a sense of the culture until I started to get to know people who actually lived here. And I think my sense of what it's like to live in Bordeaux has been very heavily influenced by Alliance Française, because I have a group of French people, yes, that I spend time with, but I also have some really dear friends that I've met here who also come from all over the world, and like together we can experience this city sort of for the first time. Started to find, you know, my favorite spots and my favorite ways to walk from one place to another, for example, starting to feel more and more like home. I've found that everybody that comes to Alliance Française every day has made the choice to be here. It's not like my high school French class where I had to pick a language, I had to show up for a certain amount of time. I think all of the students have really unique personal stories and really unique reasons that they're here and they want to come learn French. And the professors too, and the administrators and all the wonderful people that work in the accueil. I've felt like this community is really intentional, because it's actually important for all of us, for whatever reason, to get a job or to go advance in school or just to improve our daily life living in France, to be here. Okay, my favorite word in French is globuleux, which means in English it's globular, but it's just like round and spherical, and I find it especially cute when it's used to describe my cat's eyes. Yeux globuleux.